Avengers fans assemble. Today, we're paying tribute to our fan favorite, the first Avenger. His life was super long, filled with heroic battles, rebellious missions, unlimited heartbreaks, and loneliness. No kidding. Steve was over a century old. So can we revisit the entire long life of our beloved Cap? Oh, we can do it all day. Join us as we go through Captain America's complete MCU history, starting with the life of a scrawny kid. Before Steve Rogers got caught up in the superhero madness, he was just a regular guy from Brooklyn. Okay, not regular, but on the little side. Still, don't be fooled by his tiny body. Ambition to serve the nation was coursing through his veins. Steve's father, Joseph, was an army man who died in World War I even before he was born. Given his physique, the kid was often on the receiving end of countless bullies, but he never backed down from a fight. James Buchanan Barnes, or Bucky as we know him, became his only friend in his lonely world, and when his mother, Sarah Rogers, died in 1936, Bucky was all Steve had left. The two became thick as thieves throughout their childhood and late teens. Then, Barnes enlisted in the army for World War II, and Rogers was left behind. Despite his extreme desire, he was always rejected due to health issues. They just never measured his spirit. Big mistake. Did our boy give up after the many rejections? Absolutely not. And thanks to this, he was finally given a chance. Coming up next, in 1943, Project Rebirth gave him the iconic identity. You can thank Bucky for taking Steve to the Stark Expo in 1943, because there, he spotted an enlistment center and met Dr. Abraham Erskine, who changed his life. Erskine recognized that one element he needed to create a super soldier. Not a perfect soldier, but a good man, and this man was brimming with righteousness. So, Rogers was recruited into the U.S. Army under Project Rebirth and sent to Camp Lehigh for training. This is where he also met the future love of his life, Agent Peggy Carter. His selflessness, quick thinking, and never-quit attitude finally made him a winner. He got to be the recipient of Super Soldier Serum and Howard Stark's Vita Rays. Not going to lie, the movie could end his life or make him a monster, but Steve never backs down, so on we go. To everyone's sheer amazement, the experiment worked, and Rogers got taller, among all things. Sadly, immediately afterward, his mentor, Dr. Erskine, was murdered by a Hydra agent, and that is when he realized the bitter reality of his status. He was the Army's only super soldier, and they wouldn't let him fight anytime soon. The next few months were totally dull. There was no heroic life, only being a circus monkey entertaining troops on USO tours. Yeah, we didn't imagine it turning like that either. It was Barnes again that changed things. Following 1945, defeating Red Skull and falling into a chilly sleep. When Peggy delivered the news of his best friend's capture to Steve, he couldn't just sit around, could he? Nope. So in 1943, defying all orders, he took the help of Carter and Stark to rescue the entire 107th Infantry Regiment. Solo, Hydra's nefarious Dr. Arnim Zola was using the regiment, including Buck, as guinea pigs for their own super soldier experimentations. Keep in mind, this bit is important. Rogers encountered the enemy leader Red Skull for the first time, but managed to save everyone. This mission made him the nation's genuine war hero, Captain America. So began his combat journey alongside the Howling Commandos, including Barnes, Jim Morita, and Dum Dum Dugan. The team had a victorious run for 2 years until the ill-fated mission to capture Zola in 1945. Don't get us wrong, they succeeded, but Barnes fell off the Alps train, seemingly to his death. To say the least, Rogers was heartbroken. For revenge, the guy turned his grief into power and confronted Red Skull. It turns out that he was Erskine's first experiment, but it went horribly wrong. Also, he had the Tesseract. The villain had made a Tesseract-powered bomber plane, the Valkyrie, and was planning to drop it into the US. Not if the Star-Spangled Man could help it. He fought Red Skull, who vanished after touching the space cube. Cap then sacrificed himself by crashing the plane into a glacier and preventing a massacre. You'd be a robot if his last emotional message to Peggy didn't tug at your heartstrings. Everyone thought Captain America was dead. Next up, 2011-2012, the reawakening and joining the Avengers. Of course, he didn't die. The Sleeping Beauty went into a natural cryogenic sleep for 70 years. S.H.I.E.L.D. discovered him in the Arctic and thawed him in 2011. At first, they tried to pretend it was still the same era, but they couldn't fool Rogers. He escaped, stumbling upon a totally different bustling New York, and everything changed. S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury gave him a home, recruiting him into the Avengers Initiative in 2012. He became super helpful when Loki arrived to steal the Tesseract and invited the Chitauri to Earth. Cap joined Iron Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow, the Hulk, and Thor to make the Avengers. They defended New York, which was all in the day's work for Earth's mightiest heroes. Go team! After the battle, Steve found a friend in Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, in 2014 and was thrust into the espionage world's politics. Now for toppling Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. in 2014. 2014 brought shock after shock, with first an attack on Nick Fury resulting in his apparent death. Then S.H.I.E.L.D. turned against Steve, Nat, and Sam, labeling them as wanted criminals. It turns out Hydra had infiltrated the agency for years and now controlled it. And it wasn't even the biggest reveal. Rogers discovered Fury's killer, the Winter Soldier, was none other than Bucky. What? Remember Zola's experimentations? It saved him from the fall, and Hydra captured him, brainwashed, and made him their superpowered assassin. All the while, Rogers Rogers was sleeping, Bucky was killing people left, right, and center. Damn, that's rough. Anyway, the team on the run was helped by Maria Hill and Fury. Surprise, surprise, he's alive. Thanks to them, they dismantled S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra with it. Rogers and Barnes also had a major fight where the latter saved a fainted Cap's life, signifying he snapped out of mind control, but he ran away after that. So there is no real reunion yet. Sam and Steve then started a personal mission to find him. What's more, battling Ultron in 2015. Bucky's search paused when Dr. Banner and Tony Stark unwittingly created a murderous AI, Ultron, using Loki's scepter. Both just couldn't help their mad scientist streak. The AI then attacked the Avengers and built a robot army to kill humanity. Two Sokovian superpowered kids, Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, also entered the picture. They first sided with Ultron, and Wanda messed up most Avengers' minds. Steve saw a vision of Peggy, and it really tore him. So it goes without saying that fighting Ultron took a serious shake for our superheroes. But they got over it. The Maximoffs joined the Avengers when the AI nearly made Sokovia an Earth-destroying meteor, and the villain was defeated. Sadly, Pietro died, and Sokovia was destroyed in the process. Moving on to 2016, the Civil War. The Age of Ultron brought out the government's big guns, the Sokovia Accords. They wanted to control the Avengers, and Stark was all up for it after his disastrous creations. Not Steve, though. You can't control him. To make matters worse, the Wakandan king was assassinated at the UN, and the blame fell on the Winter Soldier. The government and the Black Panther went hungry for Bucky's blood, but Steve reunited with him and rescued him. This bold move started the Civil War. The Avengers were broken into two. Wanda, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, the Falcon, Bucky, and Steve made Team Captain America. On the other side, Team Iron Man consisted of Tony, Natasha, Rhodes, T'Challa, Vision, and Spider-Man. They battled it out, but Rogers and Barnes were able to flee. Little did they know, T'Chaka's real murderer, Baron Zemo, led them to a secret Hydra facility. There, Tony discovered Bucky killed his parents, and Steve knew all along. After a furious battle, Stark was defeated. Captain America again became Steve Rogers, leaving his iconic shield and going on the run again for 2 years. Not to mention the Thanos encounter and the blip in 2018. His years as a wanted man ended when Thanos attacked the Earth in 2018. Cap came out of hiding, joined by Wilson and Nat, to rescue Wanda and Vision. From there, the group went to Wakanda to remove the Mind Stone from Vision's head. We also find Bucky was staying there, recovering from Hydra's remnant mind control. Meanwhile, Iron Man and the rest went to Titan to defeat the Mad Titan, but they failed. Thanos arrived in Wakanda with 5 Infinity Stones and took the last one from Vision. To our absolute shock, Thanos defeated the Avengers and dusted half of the universe. Steve survived, but lost his closest friends to the blip. Finally, the 2023 Battle of the Earth and new Captain America. 5 years later, Rogers recovered from the losses when Ant-Man showed up with an idea of a time heist. Our hero's spirit resurfaced to undo the blip. He convinced Stark to try it and finally got back his shield and Captain America's status. They collected all 6 Infinity Stones from the past and brought everyone back, but a lethal Thanos from the past showed up once again to crush them. Not again. Cap assembled all the Avengers and led the Battle of the Earth in 2023. They defeated the Mad Titan, but lost Tony and Natasha in the process. Gutting. Steve Rogers, also known as Captain America, embarked on a solo mission to return the Infinity Stones to the past. However, he ended up taking his time during the mission. Eventually, Steve returned to Peggy Carter and fulfilled his promise of dancing with her. He lived the life he had always wanted, but never had the opportunity to experience. Rogers returned as Old Cap and gave Wilson his shield and Captain America's status. At first, Sam resisted, and the government tried to make John Walker the hero. But John was not worthy at all. He made a horrifying, bloody mess, literally. So finally, in 2024, Wilson accepted the mantle and is now our current Captain America. Let's see where his journey takes us in Captain America: New World Order. And that's a wrap. How nostalgic do you feel after going through Captain America's MCU timeline? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share the video. For more MCU timelines like this, subscribe to our channel. We'll see you at the next one.